Okay, listen to me. 20 ways to um buy a house. In a house in Texas, Texas. I never went to college, but if I did, it would have been UT. Still regretting of not going, but I got the shirt from Goodwill.
All right, let's just continue how I was going to record last night. But I was too tired, so we're recording right now. We're painting this big ass house. Yeah. So let's get back into business. 20 things that you should know about real estate just in general. Number 1 to 20. 1 to 20, Tuesday. What's going on, everyone? I'm Jaciel Castro, your local realtor here in Austin. And tell you the whole time, I might even go to Virginia. I'm not sure yet. The market is, some people say it's bad, some people say it's good. To be honest, homes sell every day. They're priced right, they will sell. You could say in some areas it's a balanced market, in some areas it's a buyer's market, in some areas it's a seller's market. It just depends on what type of market you're looking at. Micro market. A neighborhood might be selling a house every month. Another one might not sell one in 3 months, 6 months. Buyer's market. And just to tell you what it's about, a buyer's market, it's when there's at least, I think, 6+ months of inventory in that neighborhood, in that market, meaning that buyers have more control, they have more negotiation power, they're more decisive, they're more assertive, they're more dominant. A seller's market, on the other hand, 1 to 3 or 4 months of inventory, meaning that there is more demand than supply, more buyers than houses. That's what I'm trying to say. Check the market, you'll be fine. If you don't have a smart guy like me to check the market for you, you might be, if you're watching this from another state, there's agents everywhere. I have a friend in each state. That's one of the advantages of knowing me. What are you gonna do if a home sits longer than 30, 60, 90 days? That's a huge indicator. It's usually the price is the problem. The price control, the price demands. The price is king of the freaking hill, man. So make sure you price it right. How do you price a home right? Make sure you do a very great market analysis on your home. I'm looking at a pretty amazing property right now with my 2 eyes. And I'm just trying to make up the script. The third thing that I will advise you is that if you have no one to inspect your property, if you know nothing about home additions, fixtures, lights, cameras, and actions, get a good inspector, because you never know. You buy a house and everything looks like it's working, right? But let's say 2 weeks later, something is dead wrong. So that's where you need an inspector. Beforehand, to pre-inspect, you just gotta inspect the house. And hey, what could potentially fail with this house in the future? What do I need to fix? And what to keep an eye on. But if everything, whole inspection report comes out good, not a lot of red flags, not a lot of red colors in the inspection report, you're chilling. Don't be surprised if you see a price reduction on the market. Oh my God, my neighbor just dropped the price $50,000. That's it's all unique to each homeowner. That's what I'm trying to say. It depends on the property. If you price it right from the start, you don't have to worry about price reductions. Like, let's say you're just putting your house on the market today, and then you never sold the house before. So you're like, holy shit, what am I gonna do? Even if you're for sale by owner, this is for you. If you never sold a house before and you see your neighbor just drop the price, but he's been on the market for around 3-6 months, and he has a valid reason to do that. But since you just started on the market, I recommend you don't do anything and just test out the price the first 30 days. If you don't get an offer the first 30 days, and I highly recommend you take a look at your price again, your comparables too. Okay, now in Texas, new construction is one of the most favored niche by realtors. Not me, I like resale. But there's a lot of new construction, and the reason it's one of the favorites for the buyers is that they provide a lot of incentives. New appliances, new fridges, they even discount you on the rates. They might start at 2%, 3% interest rate, but if you're not careful, you gotta make sure you know what's in the contract. It might be, an escalated interest rate. Even worst case scenario, balloon payment that you have to owe at the end. If you're buying a resale property, your lender will tell you, hey, you can qualify for this rate with your current financial situations, and we go there. Make sure you get a fixed rate. So rates, they're not as low as, before I was born, 3% rates, 2.5% rates. I never got to see that. I don't know how that feels. We're probably not gonna go back in that time unless there's like a huge World War III and another COVID. in life, there's people that are having a great time in life and some bad, but it's, it's just the yin yang. It's a balance of life. So like, if you're thinking, man, maybe I should wait because not a lot of people are buying. But the thing is, the real question you need to ask yourself is this situation aligned with my needs? Do I need to buy? Does my family need a new house? I don't like wearing glasses. I look stupid, but that's the whole point. You gotta make sure if you're deciding to buy, it aligns with your needs. And you feel good with it and you can handle it. Because a home that costs $500,000 right now, it costs $500,000 right now. But let's say in 2 years, prices go up, inflation goes up, it's now worth $700,000. You never know. Some new Elon Musk building is built right in front of the street across, and then boom, like damn, I should have bought this when it was at $500,000. Now it's $700,000. And that's where you flip yourself. That's where you mess up. Now about sellers. If you're thinking like, hey, I don't want to sell right now, I'm gonna wait till the market gets better. Like I said before, houses sell every day if they're priced properly, presented properly, marketed properly, and whoever you hire as a realtor is doing their job properly. That's the formula. It's not that hard. But some realtors make it hard because I don't know. They're not me. Okay, now for buyers again, you can negotiate repairs at any time. Like I said, anything's negotiable in life. Anything in a contract is pretty much negotiable in life. Just make sure you get it in writing to be safe. In Texas, you could technically, sign a contract in a piece of napkin, piece of paper, a piece of napkin with crayons and stuff. But let's be professional. Let's respect the industry. Let's respect the real estate contracts. Before I started, when I heard contracts, I thought it was like this pen and paper, complicated document, like with blood. Like you see in those movies when they cut their hands and put blood in the contract. That's what I thought contracts were, but that's not the reality. Now it's just, SkySlope or DocuSign. Boom, boom, done, check, delivered, boom, sent, submitted, done, closed. That's the reality of 2026. Other realtors know this, but the public doesn't. I'm just explain to you in my terms of not a fourth grader, but a Gen Z. Before you start shopping for a house, before you ask Nathan, hey, can you take me to this house? Most of them will say no. I say, depends. I don't just reject anyone to go show them a house. If they're like serious, motivated, they have a valid reason, then I'll say, let's think about it. Show me, at least some proof of funds to start off with. But if you get a pre-approval, that's a green flag that says, hey, I'm qualified. I'm a pretty good qualified buyer. And sellers love that. They gotta know you're qualified, so they know they're not wasting their time with you. Not to be mean to you or rude to you, but that's all respect. If you want respect, you gotta show respect. Showing respect is having that pre-qualification letter. If you need one of those, I have a few friends that lenders that can get you that. First-time buyers. This is also more on the lending side. There's things, even if you're not from the United States, there's things like I-10 programs that you could potentially qualify. You can still be a homeowner. Some people get discouraged, like they're not from the U.S. and they're like, man, I have no chance of living the American dream, man. Let me tell you, you do have a chance. And there's many ways to buy a house too. That's another tip. That's like what, 11? Okay, tip number 11. Just not just one way to sell a house or buy a house. Just many ways, legal ways. Some people that say they buy a property that's not even on their name, on their deed. There's things called subject to wraparound mortgages. I'm just being honest, I don't know a lot about that stuff. I've been to some seminars, but they don't really teach you anything. They just hype you up, but that's okay. We need good energy anyways. There's many ways to acquire a property. It's not really about purchasing a house. It's about acquiring the property. How do you get a property? The deed goes into your name or your company name, your entity name, your LLC. That's more like for the real estate investing side, but I'm still learning that, so I'm not trying to say so much, but this is stuff that I know. Number 10, you don't need 20% down on a house. You don't. With an FHA loan, if you qualify, all you need is 3.5% down. Meaning, in a house, I try to memorize, but $400,000 house, 3.5% down, that's around $12,000, I think. Let me check right now. Behind the scenes right here. Yeah. Okay, don't mind the water bill. Come on, look down. Yep, $400,000 house. You're a first-time home buyer. That's what the FHA loan is mainly for. Yeah, $14,000. That is your down payment with a 3.5% down. This number that you see right here, that's not the total you need to come at closing. Now, depending who's negotiating on your behalf, if I am, I'll do my best so you could only pay the down payment. But usually you should save another, if this was $14,000, you should save another, if you have another $5,000 to $8,000, that you should be good for the closing costs. Now, tip number 11. What are closing costs? They're different from the down payment, but both the down and the closing costs are needed to close on the property. Why? Because that's how it is. I don't make the rules, I just play the game. Again, what are closing costs? Closing costs are a combination of title fees, sometimes even attorney fees. If you're selling a house, there's your realtor commission that you gotta pay me. And not just me, the buyer agent too, there's one. But at the end of the day, everything is negotiated between the buyer and the seller. So make sure whoever's on your side will negotiate strong for you. Reckless, over the phone, over the emails, up to date. Tip number 12, make sure who you hire answers the freaking phone. And it's always in contact with you. I'll make sure that if my sellers don't get an answer, don't get a call from me or a message or email at least once a week, then I am doing my job very poorly. And I'm just doing a disservice to them, which I'm trying not to. I try my best, really. So whenever a seller tells me that I failed them, which has happened, I felt horrible, man. I wanted to quit. Like, imagine being at closing and then telling the seller telling you that, man, I wish somebody actually represented me and protected my interest. That happened to me. That was my first seller, but still sold it. But I do feel bad, so I'm trying to be better for the future clients. If he wants to use me again, good. If not, I don't blame him. I messed up, but I was new. 13, pricing correctly is critical, very critical. Don't even think about it like it's something minimal, because it's not, it's critical. If you overprice your home, guess what's gonna happen? It will sit for days and days, months and months, and years until your hard head finally decides that, hey, maybe Hasiel is right. Maybe it's too overpriced, it will not sell. It doesn't matter if you got the best agent in Texas, or me, or some normal agent. If it's priced correctly, it will sell. If you give a newborn, it has to sell. Freaking just came out of his mom. And you just like, hey, take this listing, it's priced correctly. And it is priced correctly. The newborn will sell it compared to the top agent that just wants the listing and doesn't care about the client. That's how important price is. You know, I'm not saying that our job is useless. It's not. It's really stressful. We take a lot of pressure, a lot of stress. So on top of that, we want peace. I want peace. What's another thing that's important next to pricing would be marketing. Marketing's everything. In all business, not just real estate, marketing gets you clients. So your most important deal is the next deal. How are you gonna get the next deal? You gotta market yourself. You gotta market online. You gotta market. The top businessmen that I met, millionaires, trillionaires, they told me that the main goal as a business owner is to have systems in everything that you do and run smoothly as possible. Now we have AI. And then their main only job, I say job because job is anything that you don't really want to do, but you have to do it, is marketing and networking. Marketing and networking, that's the main goal as a businessman. But networking is just another form of marketing. So pretty much marketing is important, but in this context of real estate, it's pricing, marketing, which is the photos, the videos of your property, I would say abstract marketing. It's not a hyper-local marketing, door knocking around a listing. That's just more of the real estate stuff. I'm kind of low in energy. All right, now, number 13, first impressions. When you put a home on the market, make sure the pictures are fucking nice. All right, make sure they're nice and the curb appeal when buyers, if you do an open house, the first time they see a home for sale, make sure it's professionally, you know, if you're setting stage, or at least clean. It's mopped, it smells nice, the details every little detail is important. Very important. I learned that from Chad Coolwasser. Shout out to Chad. Curb appeal, make sure it's nice. Grass is cut, trees are trimmed, flowers are blooming, water is working, utilities are on. Everything has to be good. Now let's be realistic. Number 15. Not every home will get multiple offers. I found a way to get you multiple cash offers though. If you're more interested in that, that's another method, another strategy, another real way to sell your house. Not all homes get multiple offers, especially ones that are like in rural areas very far from the city, or type of homes that are just like not that appealing to be respectful. They're not, all that. Not all that, but I'm just sorry, I'm fucking it up. Some houses get less treatment than others, and that's why you gotta make sure it looks great. You paint job, I know a few painters. I'm one. You paint your house, make it look great so more people come. Property taxes, it all depends on which county you're in, what city you're in, what subdivision you're in, what area of the subdivision you're in. Because let's say one of my favorite neighborhoods, Tahitian Village, there's tax rates at 1.7, then there's some at 2.2, and there's some at 1.3. It all depending which area it is in that part of town, part of neighborhood. So you could just go to your local tax appraisal district, and it tells you there. You can call them if you don't know. But most agents, most realtors can get that for you. I can get that for you. 17, homestead exemptions. Man, I love that topic because when I started, I didn't know what it was. Sometimes I forget what it is. But an exemption, what is the exception? What is the definition? Exemption means like, I guess you could say the word but. Like, you gotta pay this, but you have an exemption. You have an exemption, so you're not going to pay the full thing. That's pretty much kind of what it is. There's B exemptions, there's homestead exemptions, which means that as your primary, if you buy a house and mark it as your primary residence, you do save a few bucks in taxes. I don't like paying taxes. Number 18, HOA rules matter more than people think. Something like, I'm not going to pay those freaking bastards. I don't want to pay them. But then you get a notice of default, a notice of pre-foreclosure, and that's where, oh shit, how did I get here? Well, man, you should have paid your HOA fees, because the HOA, they can pre-foreclose on your property at any time. At any time. So make sure you pay your bills, and if you can't pay your bills, you could, refinance or just sell the house. And make sure the next one you're actually comfortable and confident that you can't make the payments. It's not fun lending someone money and then them not paying you. Okay, we're cutting that part out. But make sure you pay the HOA fees. Land. Texas has a lot of land. Sometimes I think like, damn, there's a lot of houses being built, and then I find a new city and there's land. Okay, a potential scammer is calling me. I'm gonna show them. All right. Hello? Hello? Scammers. All right, number 19, land. Land, oh my God, I love land. Land is easy to work with. There is some, people say that land is easy to work with. I just said it, but there's some complications too. Land is very valuable. It never loses value. It just keeps going up. And since there's nothing built, there's possibilities are endless. It's like Minecraft. Do whatever the frick you want to do with it, but you got to get the permits. Permits in Bastrop County or more rural areas, you usually have a septic system. In the city, you have the sewer. The sewage just sewer with the city. Number 20, Austin Grove. It's not slowing down. It keeps getting bigger and bigger. There's more traffic every day. Right now in this house that I am, I take at least an hour 30 to get home. An hour 30 to get home, but I cold call on the way home. I get my anger out at people. Or I get some clients. That's a win-win. So, if you're thinking about buying, selling, or investing in Texas, in Bastrop, in Austin, in Cotton, Manor, any area, man, and you need someone that's good at what he does most of the time, trying to be all the time, give me a call, 512-643-5541. Look, don't judge me on my clothing, but we are talking about Texas, so thank you for watching. I'm trying to do a great video like this every Tuesday. Trying to make it more hype. I don't know, this one's 25 minutes. I need to edit it. Peace out.